All right, so just find a comfortable seated position, Sukhasana, if that's your favorite, but really any seat that feels nice and allows you to just be comfortable and sit up nice and tall. And then just allow your body a few moments to settle in. And as your body starts to settle in and everything starts to quiet down just a little bit, tune into your seat and just kind of maybe even give your tush a little wiggle so you can just really feel that nice solidness of the floor and the ground underneath you. And then let that come to stillness. Let your inner thighs soften, let your hips get heavy and your knees get a little heavy towards the earth. And then can you just lift a little bit taller up through the crown of your head and draw your shoulders down and back. So we have a little bit of a lift in the chest, a slight opening in the collarbones, and a little bit of an opening in the throat. And then just see if you can tune into that slight sense of openness through the front of the body. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, just anchor back into your sits bones, heavy in the knees, heavy in the thighs. And then right away, before we engage or move the body, take a moment here to just set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Beautiful. And then open your eyes gently. We're going to bring the hands together and as if we're bringing them into prayer hands, but then we're going to tuck the thumbs inside of our hands. So it's going to create a little bit of a cup shape or a boat shape. So we want the thumbs inside and a little bit of an opening in our prayer hands. And then we're going to take our prayer hands, inhale, lift up, gently touch the top of your head. Bring the hands right in front of the lips, maybe touch your chin, and then bring the hands right in front of the heart. And then we're going to scoop those hands up, big inhale, touch the top of your head, touch your chin or your lips, touch your heart. And then again, inhale, reach the arms up, touch the top of the head, touch the chin or the lips, touch your heart. Inhale and scoop up, touch the top of your head, touch your chin or lips, gently touch your heart. And then one more time, inhale, scoop your arms up, touch the top of your head, touch your lips or chin, bring the hands to the heart, hang out here for just a second, release your thumbs from inside of your palms and let the prayer hands come together. And then from here, we're going to press the palms, elbows are going to come a little bit wider. And then as you press into the palms, can you glide the shoulder blades down the back and lift just a little bit taller. And then we're going to keep our thumbs at our sternum. So we're going to start to rotate our torso, but can you keep the thumbs at the sternum so we really feel like we're finding that rotation from the above the belly button through the top of the head. And you can allow it to be gentle or you can effort into it. Just find a motion that feels appropriate to you right now. Nice. Take one more time each side. And then as you come back to center, left hand's going to touch down, right hand's going to reach up. And we're going to tick-tock from side to side with our side bend. So you're just going to float from side to side in a nice, gentle, wavy motion and just start to open up through the side body. And notice as you start to rock from side to side, do your sits bones want to move with you? And you can let them, but are they anchored or do they get wiggly wobbly? So just notice what's going on down at your hips as you move from side to side. Beautiful. Now, the next time we come over to the left hand's going to come down and we're going to reach that hand out nice and long. And this time, let the sits bones of your other hip lift way up and then reach your top hand up just as high as you like. Pull the thumb back, gaze up towards the sky. Take a nice big breath. And we're going to keep that hip lifted. We're going to round the hand forward, reach like you're reaching across the room. Keep that hip lifted as you pull the thumb back and look up. Keep the hip lifted, round and reach forward. Keep the hip lifted as you pull the thumb back. One more just like that, round and reach forward. Keep the hip lifted, round and pull the thumb back. Now, can you anchor into your hand that's down on the ground? Press into that hand, press your sits bones down as you reach through the top hand, look up, take a nice big breath. Beautiful, nice and easy. Float your way back up, and then we'll take it to the other side. So we're gonna reach that hand nice and long and let the back hip or the outer hip lift up. Nice, reach the top hand up and overhead, take a nice big breath. Awesome, now we're gonna round and reach that hand forward, but keep that hip lifted. Keep the hip lifted as you pull the thumb back and look up. Round and reach forward, keeping that hip lifted, and pull the thumb back and look up. Beautiful, one more time, just like that. Round and reach forward, pull the thumb back, and then from here, anchor into that hand that's on the ground. Press into that hand, root your sits bones down, reach through the top hand, pull the thumb back, look up, take a big breath. Awesome, then gently float your way back up to a neutral seated position. Take a second to shimmy out your shoulders, wiggle out your bum, and then make sure you feel like your seat is nice and comfortable. Rotate to the left, find a gentle seated twist. Inhale and get nice and tall. We're gonna stay on this side, but unwind slightly. So maybe rotate so your heart is facing toward your knee and facing toward your hands. So it's a little bit of a loose twist. And then move into a little bit of a cat and cow sensation here. Inhale and lift your heart. Exhale and round your back, but only take it as far as feels nice. So we don't wanna be cramming against anything that's twisted up in our center. We just wanna find a little bit of gentle movement through the spine here. Inhale to lift and exhale to round. Nice, take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, a nice neutral spine, we'll rotate over to the other side. Catch the knee, find your bigger twist here. So we rotate, get nice and tall. Beautiful, and then release slightly. So maybe you're facing your heart towards your knee. So we loosen up just a little bit and then move right into that cat and cow sensation. Inhale to lift your chest and exhale to round back. And just take a few cycles of breath here, moving gently through your body. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, rotate back to center and find that nice neutral spine. Nice. And then send your legs out in front of you, big giant bend in the knees and about a shoulder width distance apart. Catch both kneecaps. Inhale to lift the chest, lift the chin, arch the back. Exhale to hang into those knees, pull back just a little bit so you can get a little bit of a roundness in the shoulders, pull the belly button in. Inhale, lift your heart, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, nice big rounding of the back. Hang on to those knees so you can really hang back into the shoulders. Inhale to lift your chest and exhale to round. Beautiful. Inhale to lift, and we're going to swing the legs over to one side. So left leg might come in front, right leg out to your side, and then find this nice little deer sit. We're just going to walk ourselves forward just to the point where you feel a little sensation to the outside of that front hip. And then if you can, drop elbows and forearms down, soften your chest down just a little bit, wiggle around so you make a little bit of room for your belly, make sure everything feels like it's got nice space for itself, and then soften the back of your neck, soften your jaw. Take a nice deep breath. Beautiful. And then nice and slow, we're going to walk ourselves back in. Keep this seated position. We're going to place the left hand down onto the ground. Right hand's going to reach, and we're going to press into the knees as we lift the hips up nice and high. Reach the hand up and overhead. Look to the sky. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then lower, nice and slow and controlled. We're going to swing the legs out in front. Give everything a little swish, windshield wiper the knees, make sure everything feels okay. And then we're going to swing the legs over to the other side. So take your time to swing around, find your deer seat to the other side, get your hips all situated. And once you think everything feels like it's in a good position, walk yourself forward just a little bit, right to the point where you feel a little bit of sensation in the outside of that front hip. And then come down elbows and forearms. Soften the back of your neck. Tune in just for a second. Notice if you're holding any tension in your inner thighs. Can you soften your inner thighs for a second? One more breath. Awesome. And then nice and easy, walk yourself back up and in. Right hand's going to touch the ground. Left hand's going to sweep you up. You're going to press into the knees, lift the hips, big reach up through the top of the hand, look up to the sky, take a nice big breath. Awesome. Float it down slow and controlled. From here, we're going to find our way into a tabletop position. So just move your legs around in any way that feels appropriate to you. And then we come to all fours, take a second to spread your fingers nice and wide. Broaden your shoulders just a little bit, firm up your belly just a little bit, curl both sets of toes under, and then right away, we're going to rock forward and back just to wake up the toes and the bottoms of the feet. Nice. Now, the next time you press back into the heels, if it feels good, stay there for a moment or two. Let your hips get heavy into your heels, maybe even shake out your tush or wiggle a little side to side if that feels nice to you. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, come back up to table, release your toes, maybe give your feet and your ankles just a little wiggle to soothe them out, and then relax your feet down to the ground, toenails pressing down. We're going to take the right hand, reach it up nice and high to the sky, thread the needle. We're going to just reach that hand through and underneath. So right ear, right shoulder are going to come down to the ground. Take a second to settle into that shape and then play around with the left arm. Maybe you reach it to the top of your mat, up to the sky, tuck it behind you, any little variation there that you like. And then once you've found something that you think feels nice to you, take 3 nice deep breaths. On your next inhale, when you're ready, slowly start to unwind, come up into a tabletop position. Give a second to kind of wiggle out your shoulders, move your spine around just a little bit, make sure your table is a good setup. And then when you're ready, left hand's going to reach up nice and high. Left hand's going to thread through and underneath, left ear, left shoulder to the ground. And then play around with that right arm. Maybe reach it to the top of your mat, up to the sky, tuck it behind you, any variation you like there. When you're ready, nice and slow, start to lift yourself back up into that tabletop position. And then from here, move into a cat and cow breath. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your back. One more time, just like that. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to round the back. And then we're going to find a neutral spine, curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. And then when you find your way there, start to pedal out the legs, bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Take 1 or 2 more pedals of each leg. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat into a little ragdoll fold. So feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart. Make some space for yourself and then let everything dangle here. If it feels nice, grab your elbows or just let your arms hang heavy, whichever feels better to you right now. And then as you start to soften and settle into this shape, allowing the back of the neck to be soft and heavy, head nice and heavy, can you tune back into your feet? Lift your toes just a little bit, give them a little wiggle. And as you wiggle your toes, can you feel a little bit of movement in the back of your calf, behind your knees? Can you feel a little bit of movement behind the backs of your thighs? Take one or two more little wiggles of the toes just to explore, and then let your toes settle down, but lift the insteps or find that pada bandha, that nice lift from the soles of the feet. Relax your fingers down towards the ground, bend your knees a lot, pull your belly button in, strong from your navel center, round and roll up to standing. And then take a moment as you come up to just give your shoulders a little shrug, fix up your yoga clothes, and then maybe just wiggle out your feet so everything feels like it's in come up all right together. So find your mountain pose here, feet about hip width distance apart, anchor into your feet, lift up through the top of your head. And then see if you can just kind of snuggle your shoulders down, then bring some life down into your fingertips. Inhale, raise your arms up and look up. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Beautiful. Now we'll go further. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold all the way down. Inhale to a half forward fold, hands glide to the shins, nice long spine. Keep that length, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep that length, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep that length, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, press your palms together, elbows wide. You're going to press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Shift your weight over to your left foot. Peel your right heel up, big toe stays on the ground. Firm up your center, pick your knee up, flex the foot, take one good breath, and then set that foot down with control. Shift your weight over to your right foot. Press your tongue to your roof of your mouth, lift your left heel up, firm up your center, and then lift the left knee up and take one good breath. Beautiful. And then with control, lower that foot down, relax your hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. You can bend the knees or keep them straight, totally up to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften. We're going to find a warrior one here. So step your right foot back just as far as you like, drop the heel down, and then maybe think about turning the toes out. Hips are going to stay facing forward. Raise your arms up. Think about drawing a little energy of that left hip back as the right hip comes forward. And then think about lifting your chest just a little bit. Look up towards the sky. Take a nice big breath. Cool. Now from here, can you find that pada bandha, that lift from the soles of your feet? So engage the big toes or think about pulling the ball of the foot towards the heel. So we get that lift up through the soles of the feet. And then can you feel that energy lift up through your legs, up through your side body, up through the fingertips? Take another big breath. Beautiful. From here, we're going to float down to the ground. We're going to pivot on the back heel. So we're going to come into a little bit of a lunge, and then right away, plant the palms, step back to a plank. Bring your knees right down to the ground. We're going to rotate the eyes of the elbows forward towards the top of the mat. Hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control, nice and slow onto your belly. Beautiful. And then once you found your way down, we're going to bend the knees, swish the heels a little bit side to side. Notice here the movement in your hips. So notice your bum might be rocking a little side to side with the heels, and let it move the way that it moves. And then tune into the tops of your thighs and feel that little bit of a massage as you rock your heels side to side. You might feel that just nice little shift of the muscle tissue along the floor. Nice. Take one more little rock side to side. And then keep the knees bent. We're just going to test the water, see where we're at this morning. Reach your right hand back. Can you touch your right foot? Beautiful. Release. And then reach your left hand back. Can you touch your left foot? Nice. And then let that go. Push your way up into a tabletop position. Curl the toes under. Exhale up to a downward facing dog. Take a pedal or two of the legs here. And then when you're ready, look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale and sweep your arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left leg is going to step back, warrior one to the other side. So we're going to drop the heel down, toes turn out slightly, hips stay facing forward. Raise your arms up. Take a second to settle into that shape and then pull that right hip back, left hip forward. Lift your toes just for a second. Make sure you're not cramming into your toes. And then can you find that Pada Bandha? Lifting from the soles of your feet, lifting energy up the legs, up the side body, up the fingertips, look to the sky, nice big breath. Beautiful. From here, pivot that back heel, float the hands down to the ground. Right away, we're going to step the front foot back and then bring your knees down to the ground. Rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug your elbows into the ribs, lower with control, nice and slow onto your belly. Beautiful. And then take a second, shake out your bum, wiggle out your heels, make sure everything feels good. Now we're going to take it into some cobras here. So hands alongside the shoulders, elbows soft in at the ribs. Inhale a low cobra, just gently lift your heart. And exhale, lower down. Beautiful. And then maybe think about lifting a little higher if that feels right. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. And then maybe think about lifting just a little bit higher again if that feels right. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower down. Nice. Bend your right knee, reach your right hand back, catch hold of that foot, hug the heel in toward your bum. If you had to rotate the shoulder or the heart to catch hold of that foot, now that you've got hold of it, can you rotate the heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Beautiful. Release that foot with control. So we're just going to let it soften down towards the earth and then switch sides. So we're going to bend the left knee. See if you can reach back, catch hold of that left foot. And then if you've got hold of the foot and you had to rotate the shoulder, now can you rotate your heart forward, look forward, hug the heel in toward your bum, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then with control, we release that foot. So we're going to lower it gently down to the ground. Awesome. Push your way up into a tabletop position. Curl the toes under. Exhale up to a downward facing dog. Stay here. Take a couple of pedals of the legs and we're going to take it into a three-legged dog. So make sure your hands feel like in a good position. You might even widen your stance just a little bit so your shoulders are happy. Lift your right leg up. Keep your hips square to start. We just want to find a little bit of lift, but a little stability. So shoulders should be strong, hips squared off. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then if it feels right to you, you can lift the leg up, bend the knee, let the hip roll open, make a couple of circles with your foot in one direction, and make a couple of circles with your foot the other way. Lovely. When you're ready, release that foot down slow and controlled. If you need to bring your knees down, give your shoulders a rest, take a moment. But if it feels good to get right back into the other side, lift your left leg up. Square hips, square shoulders, nice and strong here. Beautiful. And then if it feels good, lift the leg, bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Make a couple circles with your foot in one direction. Make a couple circles the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release that foot down. We're going to come to extended child's pose or child's pose, whichever you like best. So lower your knees down to the ground and then maybe take them out nice and wide or keep them together. That's totally up to you. Pull your butt back to your heels. Let your belly, your chest, your forehead soften down. Let your arms get nice and heavy. Take one more breath. From here, we're going to come forward onto the belly again. So you can just smooth your body forward, walk the legs long to the end of your mat, lower onto your belly, and then give everything a little wiggle, a little shake out. First, we're going to start with a half locust just to bring some length into the legs. And then we're going to move in to a little bow. So we're going to catch hold of the feet and get a little back bend. So if the back bend's not going to feel good to you, you're going to leave that part off. But start by either tucking your fingers under your hip bones or just let your hands rest wherever is comfortable, chin on the ground or forehead on the ground. Again, whichever is more comfortable to you. Shake out your heels just to find a little looseness in the hip socket. And then once you feel like you've got your hips a little bit soft and relaxed, let that come to stillness. Point your right toes. Pull your right toes towards the end of your mat. Make your leg get about 2 inches longer than the other, and then lengthen and lift that leg nice and high, or just as high as it feels good. And then pull the toes away from you, lengthen and lower down. Nice. And then give your heels a little soft shake, relax your bum. And then we'll take it to the other side. So shaking comes to stillness, pull the left toes away from you, lengthen out, make it about 2 inches longer than the other leg, and then lift and lengthen up. Beautiful. And then lengthen as you lower down. Nice. And then give your heels and your bum a little shake. If your fingers are tucked under your hips, go ahead and release them. Bend both knees and then see if you can reach back. Catch hold of the right foot, catch hold of the left foot. And this might be enough. You might feel it in your shoulders. You might already feel a back bend. You might already feel a stretch to the front of your hips. So if this feels like quite enough, you stay here and breathe. But if it feels really nice and you want a little bit more sensation, press your feet into your hands into the feet, find a little bit of a lift, and then just tune into your breath here. Inhale, let your belly inflate, and exhale, soften, which might bring a little bit of rocking into your movement. Inhale, let your belly inflate, and exhale, soften. Take 2 or 3 more breaths, whatever feels good to you. Awesome. And then when you're ready, with control, release your feet, let them float down to the ground. We're going to stack our hands, so little crocodile arms. Let your forehead rest. So turn your head maybe to the right or to the left, and then we'll switch after a breath or two. Just let your head rest on your hands. Notice the energy through the backside of your body. Might feel a little bit warm right now. Nice. And if your head is turned in one direction, gently lift it, turn it the other way. Let it rest on your hands and take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly start to lift your head, float your hands alongside your shoulders, push your right up into a tabletop position, curl the toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog, take a pedal or two of the legs. And then when you're ready, look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of the mat. We're going to roll down into a little ball of yarn. So keep your fingers on the ground, lift your heels, bend your knees a lot, start to bring your bum down to your heels. Nice. Tuck your chin into your chest, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then sit yourself down onto your bum. We're going to just scooch our butt back so we find the middle part of our mat. Left leg is going to go long. Hold onto your right knee, hold onto your right heel. Give that leg a little rock side to side. Awesome. And then we're just going to dig into the piriformis just a little bit. So if you can, take your right foot into your left elbow pit so that you can have a single hand hold, or really any other way that you can just hold that leg up with one hand. Lift it nice and high up towards the chest. And then the right hand's going to come down onto the ground. And we're going to roll over onto the right side and then just rock around on that hip. Roll anywhere that feels nice. If you find any tender parts, you might stay slightly off the tender part, rock around just a little bit to soothe it out, and then roll around again and see if you can go over that spot without wincing or crunching up your face. Beautiful. Take one or two more good rocks around on this side. Make sure everything feels appropriately massaged out, and then come back to center. Release your foot from the elbow pit. Rock the leg a little bit side to side. Awesome. And then gently setting that leg nice and long. Give everything a little soft bounce. But of course, we have to do that all to the other side. So catch your knee, catch your heel, rock it around a little bit. Awesome. And then if it's available, maybe take the foot into the elbow pit or any other single hand hold that works for your body. And then once you feel like you've got it, leg close to the chest, lean over to the left and rock yourself around. Beautiful. Take one more little rock around and then bring it back in, releasing that foot from the elbow pit or from whatever grab. Give it a little rock side to side. Lovely. And then when you're ready, extend that leg long, give everything a little bounce, wiggle out the knees, wiggle out the toes. We're going to soften the knees, curl the tailbone under, roll your way down to the ground, nice and slow and controlled. And then once you found your way down to the ground, just give yourself a second. Settle your body in, make sure everything feels like it's in a good position. We're going to come into a twist here, but we're going to keep our legs in a sort of tabletop 90-degree angle bend. We're going to keep the legs hugging together, drop the knees over to the right, let them sink all the way down. If this variation of snow twist doesn't work for you, but you have another one you like better, take the variation you like best. But if this feels okay, knees stacked, we're going to place the right hand on top of the thighs, press the thighs down into the ground so we can leverage into the twist a little bit, and then press your left shoulder down into the ground, turn your head to the left and take a nice deep breath. Cool. And then if your hand is on the thighs, release it. We're going to float the knees to center and then with control, drop them over to the left. So let them sink all the way down. Awesome. And then if it feels good, left hand to the outside of the thighs, press the thighs down, press your right shoulder down, turn your head to the right and come back to your breath. Awesome. If your hand is stacked on top of the thigh, go ahead and release it. Bringing both knees back up to center. We're going to pull the knees into the chest, reach your hands up, catch your shins, give them a little good squeeze, and then a little bit of a rock side to side. Beautiful. And then from here, we're just going to finish with a little happy baby. So take your knees a little bit wider towards your shoulders. That might be quite enough for you. Or maybe grab the backs of the thighs and float the feet up. Or maybe reach up and grab your feet, whichever feels like a nice way to go this morning. And then find some organic movement here. Rock a little bit around, wiggle the legs a little bit, mush the toes and feet around a little bit. Anything that feels nice. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're just going to release those feet, send the feet up towards the ceiling, give them a good vigorous shake just to let go of any tension or any stuff you may have come across throughout your practice. Shake it all out through your feet. Let your legs get nice and wiggly jiggly. And then when you feel like your legs have been shaken out real good, float your feet back down to the ground and then ask yourself, where would you like to take your Shavasana? Come into constructive rest with the knees collapsing in, maybe take your cobbler's pose, or maybe take that more traditional Shavasana shape, or really any other shape that feels right to you this morning. As your body takes a moment or two to quiet down and settle in, can you become aware of the floor beneath you? Just feeling that nice solidness under your head, under your shoulders, under your arms, under your butt, under your legs, under your heels. Allowing your body to just get a little heavier into the earth. And then can you tune into the top side of your body and just notice the lack of solidness on the top side of the body, so the freedom of the air on top of you. Eyes closed or a soft gaze. See if you can invite some softness into your jaw, into your cheekbones. Soften the outer corners of your eyes. Soften the space between your eyebrows. And invite a sense of softness into the crown of your head. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. But if you feel called to do so, start to reawaken your body. Wiggle fingers, wiggle the toes, move the wrists and move the ankles. If your legs are in constructive rest, maybe send them nice and long. Take a big good morning stretch, stretch from fingers to toes, and invite a nice big breath back into your body. And then in your own way, find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Lovely. And then as you find your way to a comfortable seated position, just let your hips get nice and heavy. We're just going to take our hands and we're going to clap them together. It's going to be a really big clap and we're going to hear it across the land. So I'm going to hear you clap even though you're on mute. So bring your hands together and give them a really good clap and just bring a little bit of sensation into your hands. And once you feel like you can feel that nice tingly sensation in your hands, hands together, thumbs to the inside. So we make that little boat. Inhale, bring your arms up, touch the top of your head. Touch your lips or your chin. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes down. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. Gently lift up to the top of your head. Gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Thank you for sharing your Saturday morning with me.